Hello everyone, welcome to Cloud Patashala's AWS web series where we are discussing multiple AWS features and services on the go. Till now, if you have been following us, we have already created a custom VPC, we have created our own subnets, our custom route tables and a custom network access control list. We have also seen some critical settings in a subnet where we could enable the auto assign public IP addresses in a subnet by default. This would definitely help you get a public IP address to all EC2 instances that are launched in those particular subnets. Now this is always a game changer, a time saver, because every new person who is creating an EC2 instance in those subnets always forgets to assign the public IP addresses to the instances, and it's really tough to connect to those EC2 instances if you're not well versed with AWS services in total. So today, let's continue with the series, right? So we have already created an EC2 instance. Now this is a Windows 2022 base AMI that we have used, so we are using the latest of the latest AMI. So let's see how the operating system looks like. It's also a first time for me that I'm launching Windows 2022 AMI, so let's get diving in. Before we dive into all of those things, right, let me also quickly take you to these details of the EC2 instance that are there in front of us. So the instance ID is something which is unique in AWS. It starts with an I, hyphen, and a hexadecimal number. This is unique for every EC2 that's created in every AWS account, so there are no two AWS accounts. Instance IDs would be same. We would also have two IPs associated to this EC2 instance. Now one is a private IP address. Now this private IP address is actually derived from the subnet that we have provisioned. Now if you guys remember, I'll take you through the subnet this EC2 instance belongs to. If you see the IP address is 10.1.0.103. If I take you to networking and if I take you to the subnet, the CIDR range of the subnet would be 10.1.0.0/24 if I'm not wrong, because the IP address says that it is 10.1.0.103. So this definitely is lying within this CIDR range. If you guys want a refresher of how to check if the CIDR range is the same, or how to see if the number of IP addresses or the starting and the ending IP address in a range of IP addresses, so we just go to this website ipaddressguide.com, and we would put in the IP address range, and we would get the first and the last IP address in the available network. So this is how we get the range. Now since we deliberately wanted it to have a public IP address, so that's the reason we have this public IP address with us, which is associated with this EC2 instance. Now let's try to connect. AWS is very friendly. You have a connect button over here. If you click that, there would be three options that would be put in front of you. Now one is a session manager. We definitely would be covering what a session manager is in the coming videos, but as of now we do have this RDP client. Now even within this, you could always download this RDP client, or you could also use the public IP address straight away. Now I'll show you both the ways. You could download the RDP desktop, and you just have to go into this location. Now I'll just double click on this, and this should actually give me the details, and should allow me to connect to the EC2 instance. Now if you see, we are not able to actually connect to the EC2 instance. Now that is because, if you remember, in our custom NACLs we still don't have the rules allowing traffic inside. So let's go to the VPC. I'll go inside NACLs, that is network access control list, and network ACLs. I'll select this, I'll select the inbound rules, and if you see, there is nothing being allowed. So the first rule that I would be allowing now is, I'll say rule number 100, and it should be allowing RDP, and it could be allowing it from anywhere in the internet. Now this is how I create an allow rule for my first NACL. Now for obvious reasons, the outbound rule should also be defined in the network access list. I'll define a rule number 100. Now this time I'm just allowing all the traffic to the internet to be going outside. By this we would make sure that the traffic is going out. Now let's again try to connect to our own RDP instance. So I'll again connect. Now this time I should be getting a prompt for a username and a password. If you see, the username is already being filled in, but we should be decrypting or getting the password from the existing server. Now this is the server. I've just gone inside it, so there's nothing fancy. This is the same server that we are talking about. If I go to actions and if I go to security, I should have an option that says get Windows password. Now if you remember, we downloaded a key pair into our system, right? So we should be browsing the file there. I should be selecting the exact file that I want to decrypt the password with, and once that is selected, I should be decrypting the password. Now this is the Windows password that I should be using to connect to the EC2 instance. I could paste the password. For obvious reasons, we definitely can't remember the entire string. I click on OK, so this should be allowing me inside. So let's see. Yeah, it has taken the password, so this is asking us to accept the identity of the server. I see yes. Now once I say yes, so this should actually create a remote desktop connection to the Windows server. We just wait for a fraction of a second, so Windows does take its own time to have its system booted up and the processes to start. So this is how an RDP screen looks like. So we would have a small window that gives you the IP address or the name of the server, and you should be able to see the normal Windows screen very soon. So yeah, this looks better than most of the existing operating systems that I've seen. Let's wait for this to complete its booting process. Since this is the first time that the server has booted, this obviously would be taking a bit longer than expected for the settings to be completed. I'll accept this to be joining the network. So this is how the operating system looks like. Now if I take you to the system properties, so this PC properties, you should be able to see that this is a 2022 image with this is a product ID. So this is a 2022 data center edition of the Windows server. This is my first interaction with the EC2 instance as well. Now there is this default thing that comes on the right side corner of yours. So this is actually the host name, the name of the server, the instance ID that is coming from the AWS, the private IP address that's coming from AWS as well, the public IP address to which we have now connected. So that's 52.91.205.226. It's the instance type, and instance type is nothing but a combination of CPUs and memory which AWS gives us to choose from, and we could create the EC2 instances. The availability zone in which the EC2 instance lies is USE's. Architecture is AMD 64. The total memory on the server is 4 gigabytes of 4096 MB. The network is, it says that it's low to moderate. Now if I go to the task manager, you would see that I'm the only user who is logged in as of now. The performance is this. The server has been up for about 11 minutes is what this says. So yep, that's it for this video. This is how we connect to the Windows server. Now if you want to log off from this server, the professional way that we always suggest to people is open the run command and type log off. Now the reason why we always recommend you do this and not go in the defaults is if in case you click on shutdown instead of sign out, the entire system would go crashing down. So it's always preferred to go to the run command. It's Windows R. If you're on a Mac, it is CMD_R, and you would be typing in log off and you hit on OK. So this should be disconnected the session for you. So this is how we connect. You the other way in which we could connect also. So I'll just copy the IP address. I'll open the run command on my local system. I'll type mstsc and I'll hit on enter. Here I need to enter the public IP address that I want to connect to, and I would say this. Now if you see the IP is already pre-filled, I would get my Windows password. I'll get my Windows password, so I just have to click on get password over here, and I would again browse to the file, and once the file has been browsed, I'll decrypt the password, copy the password and punch in the password here, and once I click on connect, it should give me the certificate and allow me to connect to the EC2 instance. Great, so we are into this instance. So this is how we connect to an RDP server, and we could always log off from this and connect back. I hope you found the video to be informative. Please like and share the video so that it reaches to multiple people, and the YouTube algorithm shows it to many others who would benefit from this. Please also subscribe to our channel if you are interested in getting more such videos. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great time as always.